Oh, I may have done a thing. Well, we've got a new Japanese company as in our developmental now. We've got both FMW and WAR. We may end up merging these two because I don't need two of them. Welcome to episode 35 of From Then to Now, the TEW 2020 save, where we take the World Wrestling Federation from 1992 all the way to the modern day. And our next pay-per-view is the famous SummerSlam 92 in Wembley Stadium. And we have set up some massive matches for this show. Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna for the World Heavyweight Championship. Davey Boy Smith challenging Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship. And after last night's Saturday Night Main Event, we got the debut / return of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. SummerSlam will also have the final of the Sergeant Slaughter boot camp, something which began in episode 15? That was the first. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's boot camp was first mentioned in episode 15. 20 episodes later, we're going to, 25 even, because it'll be episode 40, I think, when it is the SummerSlam. We're going to end it and we're going to crown a winner. We're going to explain how these last 4 weeks are going to work on this show as well. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. We are in the Great Lakes, Milwaukee for this show. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. If you are new around here, make sure you subscribe, because less than half of you that watch these videos are subscribed to the channel, and we know we can do better than that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. At some point in the episode, I'll probably come up with a question to ask you guys, and I'll probably forget to put that in the comments, because I have done most times. Let's get into the show. And the episode starts off in a way which feels a little bit odd after the last few, a couple of months of Superstars. It doesn't start with Vince McMahon going, "Ladies and gentlemen." It starts with the music of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And he comes out to the ring and he grabs a microphone and he gets in this ring. The crowd going wild. They've not seen Dusty in 2 years, really. And Dusty is talking about how he is back in the WWF and he is here for one man only. And he gets interrupted by Ric Flair. And Ric Flair comes out to the ring and Ric Flair's like, "Dusty, how many times do we have to do this? We both know that at this point that I'm better than you. I keep constantly beating you. We did this down south. We don't need to do this up north as well." And then Dusty looks at Flair and just grabs the mic and says, "You're not the man I was referring to, Rick. I'm not even here, really. I mean, you're the one who'd come out and assumed I was talking about you. If anyone seems to still have a problem, it might be you." Ric Flair rightfully points out, Dusty did come out after Ric Flair's match and was being foretold as his past coming back to haunt him. Dusty points out he has never spoken to The Undertaker in his life, and he came out then because it was the main event closing angle of the show, and Dusty Rhodes is a big star, baby. The American Dream, son of a plumber, has made it big. No, the man he is here is a man he is going to work with. And you know what? If Flair really wants to still feel like he's going at it with the Dream, still feel like he's in these glory days, then at SummerSlam, Ric Flair can face Dusty Rhodes' new trainee. And it's Bret Hart. Now, I know calling Brett Dusty's trainee feels a bit weak. I will fully openly admit that. But as you can probably tell, the plan was always been Brett versus Flair at SummerSlam. I alluded to it quite a few episodes back, talking about how the plan I had for Brett at SummerSlam was going to, for one of them at SummerSlam, may potentially be the highest rated match in the save. A lot of people got that. But then when Dusty Rhodes becomes available, you don't miss up that opportunity. So we're kind of weaving Dusty into this storyline. And Dusty will be wrestling. And I'm going to tell you now, the WrestleMania match will probably be Flair versus Dusty. They're not going to wrestle until then. Well, not a singles match at least. They'll probably be in a multi-man thing at Survivor Series. But either way, Dusty is here. And he's coming in to mentor Bret Hart. And in Dusty's words, to prove that this kid is the real deal. Because yeah, in the ring, Bret is amazing. He's been IC champion for most of the year. But in kayfabe, he's not really proven himself as a main eventer. Which is, he's been a mid-card champion who's main evented shows, but he needs to make that step up to the WWF title picture. And that's what Dusty is here to do. Dusty is here to bridge that gap for Bret. Gets a 94 segment, great stuff. The Miracle Violence Connection defeat the Powers of Pain. And it's Dr. Death Steve Williams who pins the Barbarian with a backdrop driver. Dr. Death, miles above everybody else. Warlord, pretty weak. An 80 for Dr. Death, a 70 for Terry Gordy, 62 for the Barbarian, and a 52 for the Warlord. Both teams have 10-point split. But afterwards, the Miracle Violence Connection grabbed the mic. And they say, this is the team which supposedly were good enough to be the #1 contenders for the tag titles on Saturday. We've just beat them. We have just put them in the ground. Why are we even not being considered? Just because we lost to the Road Warriors. I will put my hands up and admit it. But that's not a good enough excuse. One night does not equal a career. We are better than the Road Warriors. And we always will be. The Miracle Violence Connection is always a level above the Legion of Doom. Terry Gordy here is a former All Japan Triple Crown champion. You really want to tell us two men who paint their faces to look scary are better than us? So this is the challenge. At SummerSlam, we want the Road Warriors in Wembley. We want our tag team titles back. Gets a 66 rating. Good stuff. The Natural Disasters pick up a win against developmental talent, the Thrill Seekers. Because, you know, with the purchase of War, Jericho and Lance Storm, hello. They are now in our developmental system. And Lance Storm, Paul, was a better rating than Typhoon. Oh my god. Give us a few more years, and I think Lance Storm and Jericho will absolutely be mainstays in our tag team division. They're not going to need their WCW runs to get WWF runs in this universe. Because, realistically, they were in a place where we would have found them. They were in a company we bought. I'm excited. We have signed them exclusively to our developmental. They're going to be exclusive to War. And I think working with some of the people, especially some of the people from the FMW merger, which will happen. I know I alluded to it in the intro. But, you know, I can imagine Jericho versus Hayabusa match will be amazing. I'm excited to eventually get a Cruiserweight division going on the main roster. Because I think we have enough talent. I'd say we have enough talent now to do it, but I don't think it's realistic right now to do it. We're already introducing a new belt at SummerSlam, which I've already said. And I have listened to all of your options, and I have made my decision now. I know what it's going to be. But eventually we are going to be bringing in a Cruiserweight belt as well, but that will probably not be until like 94. 57 rating though, good stuff. We get a quick little vignette, and it's the British Bulldog training with British wrestling legend Johnny Saint. It's just a little fun segment. I mean, probably most of the fans won't know who it is and won't understand the significance of this, but it's Bulldog training with Johnny Saint. It's a significant thing. 78 rating though, good stuff. And we get Sergeant Slaughter. Now, before we actually get into the challenge, we're going to explain all points you've got before, up until this point, mean jack shit now. All 5 of you are in one block. The bottom 2 from this challenge will fight next week in an elimination match. The week after that, there'll be a tag team match. First and last in this challenge, last that's still surviving, versus second and third in this challenge. The loser of that tag team match, the week afterwards, on week 4, will face each other in an elimination match, leaving SummerSlam a 3-way, a triple threat elimination match. Every single person must be eliminated. It'll be a triple threat, and then it'll be a singles match. And the winner of that match will be the winner of Sergeant Slaughter's Boot Camp 1992. And this challenge is a carpool challenge. Not carpool, carpool. It's one of those strongman challenges where you've got to pull a car. And you can see the order on your screen. It is Jacobs in first, Canyon in second, Jeff Jarrett in third. So they will be a team in the elimination. They will be a team in the tag team match in 2 weeks' time. And Jacobs will team with either Scotty Riggs or Brian Lawler. The loser of that match next week, Riggs versus Lawler, will be out. The winner will team with Jacobs against Canyon and Jarrett. We are in the final stretch now of the boot camp. I'm excited. We are almost there. Gets an 89 rating. Fujigun pick up a quick victory over the Nasty Boys. Satoshi Kojima pins Knobs with the Lariat. Gets a 50 rated overall. Not too bad. And High Voltage come up on the screen, on the Titantron afterwards. Or whatever the way we show the backstage interviews is. And they grab a mic and they start shouting at High Voltage. They've had enough now. At SummerSlam, 2-on-2. High Voltage versus Fujigun. No more running, no more excuses. That this is the end of this stupid charade. Gets a 52 rating, and it sets up another match for SummerSlam. We've been setting up a lot of matches for SummerSlam on this card. Razor Ramon makes his in-ring debut, quickly beating Jim Powers with the Razor's Edge, not the Outsider's Edge. He's not an outsider yet. Gets a 39 rating. It's a pretty naff match. Cactus Jack and Kama, both training backstage, and they both want to go into this one room to train. And they sort of bump into each other, and they start brawling. You've got the hardcore wild man of Cactus Jack versus the MMA targeted technical Kama. And yeah, they are just brawling backstage. Agents come in and separate them up. Hogan cuts his big promo on Yokozuna. It's essentially Hogan saying, Yokozuna, you're a monster. But slaying monsters has been my job for the last 10 years. in wrestling. You're a big guy, yes, but you're not Andre the Giant, and I body slammed him and I hit him with the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Look at the list of people which I have beaten. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, The Undertaker. Do you really think you're the person to topple me? No. I'm sorry, Yokozuna. One day maybe. But your day is not now. Maybe one day you'll break off on your own without that Fuji in your ear trying to torture you into his way of living. But right now, you don't stand a chance against the Holster brother. Gets 100 rating. It's a Hogan promo. What do you expect? We get a tag team match, which is this was an intentionally bombed match because this is a character moment rather than a match. Probably should have put this as an angle, honestly. But the Beverly Brothers defeat the Bushwhackers after the Bushwhackers intentionally get themselves disqualified by deciding to just go into the ring, get loads of plunder, chuck it into the ring and just start beating down the Beverly Brothers. We've been teasing this for months, but yes, we are starting to make the Bushwhackers more violent and more serious. They're not going to be quite sheep herders. They're not going to be that level of deathmatch legend. But they're going to be a lot more vicious than they are comedy. Just a nice little thing to give a little bit of a dimension to the tag team division. Like, the Bushwhackers are on their last legs. So I thought we'd give them something nice to do on their way out. Bob Backlund's continuing his presidential campaign. He's backstage this week. And he goes up to El Matador Tito Santana. And El Matador notably makes out the point that he didn't even know Backlund was on the ballot. And Backlund's like, of course I am. I'm the favourite to win. I'm the favourite to be the president this year. Can I secure your vote as a representative of the Latino community? It's Backlund basically being a sleazy politician. And El Matador just doesn't care. Backlund gets a little bit offended. And he challenges Matador to a match next week. Randy Savage comes out, pomp and circumstance plays throughout the arena. And he comes out, and he grabs the microphone, and he says, the one question on everyone's mind recently is Savage back full time? Ooh, yeah. And he wants to go back into singles action, and so he challenges The Undertaker one-on-one for SummerSlam. We're going to get The Undertaker versus Savage. Great stuff. Main events, he's 74 rating. Bulldog defeats Luger just under 15 minutes with a running power slam. Shawn Michaels on commentary wasn't amazing, but he was a guest commentator. 75 for Bulldog, a 66 for Luger. What do we get overall, though? It's a 83. Not too bad. But what did you guys think? That's obviously more important to me than what the game thinks. Let me know in the comments down below. And your question for today, because I forgot about it until way at the end, is what are you looking forward to most about the SummerSlam 1992 card? You know a lot of the matches so far, so we've got the Miracle Violence Connection versus the Road Warriors, Hogan versus Yokozuna, Michaels versus Bulldog, Flair versus Hart, High Voltage versus Fuji-Goon, Savage versus Taker. That's a lot of our big matches already scheduled. So let me know what you're excited for and what other matches you think might be on this card. Quite a few of them are teased, at least, on this show. So, I'll let you decide. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.